This is a conversation about penetration of ingredients. Penetration is probably the most challenging aspect of skincare today. And the reason why it's so difficult is that your skin moves a lot like an escalator. Every layer is moving one step, every minute, every aspect of the skin continues to move up and up and up and out and away from the deeper levels of the skin. So every time you put an ingredient on the skin, if it gets stuck in a layer, it's going to be carried out with the rest of the layers of that skin. Well, I didn't realize how difficult it was until recently I began to research the levels of penetration that are available, and it turns out that only about 2% of the average skincare line absorbs. Now, in my past formulation efforts, I believed that lowering the pH or making a product more acidic actually benefited the penetration. In other words, if I burn the ingredients into the skin a little bit, they'll actually make it down. Unfortunately, what the research shows is that when you burn the skin a little bit, or when you use those more acidic or lower pH products, you actually create a defense mechanism in the skin, and that causes a tightening effect. This tightening effect reduces, or if not eliminates, all of the positives that you thought you were getting by using a lower pH product line. So now that we know low pH doesn't get products into the skin, what about some of these individual ingredients that are out there? Do any of them work? Well, the reality is that anything that is a very effective penetrator that does not have some sort of a carrier mechanism to it, in other words, I know of 10 ingredients off the top of my head that zoom right into the skin and don't need a lot of assistance, but the problem is they're not very active ingredients as far as what their effect on the skin, and number two, they have no ability to carry any of the other ingredients with them. So ingredient penetration enhancers are another example of an ineffective attempt to try to get ingredients down to the dermis, where, of course, the real aging and the real important things happen. The last aspect of this whole picture, of course, is how do you penetrate through the oils? Remember, not only do we have layers one after the other moving their way out and away from the body, but we also have oils and fluids that are pushing their way out. So you have to use products that sort of work their way through oils, and the only ones that do that are lipid-soluble ingredients. One of the unique things about the osmosis liposomal technology that we use, and it's called phosphatidylcholine, is that it is both oil and water-soluble product. So it actually will go in and wrap itself around all of my active ingredients in a water-based formula. See, I'm not a big fan of lipid-based formulas because they have a tendency to clog the skin. What's unique about phosphatidylcholine is it creates a change in the skin that is hydrating, that is non-clogging, that is acne clearing, while increasing penetration 1,000%. Now let's get to some of the facts. The facts are that there is a 1,000% increase in product penetration as a result of using this liposome. The facts are that this is the same liposome that some of the pharmaceutical companies are using in their transdermal patches because it is the most proven penetration enhancer on the marketplace today. The facts are that this liposome actually releases the ingredients in the skin. You see, phosphatidylcholine is actually what your cell walls are made of. So it not only delivers them through the cell wall extremely effectively, but it also releases them into the environment so that they can be utilized. You see, you could use a funky man-made liposome ball as your delivery mechanism for a single ingredient. But the problem is, once it's in the skin, is it recognized? Is it broken apart? You know, how do these things function? So what we found both through our research that supports all the ingredients that we use in our product line and through the actual use of the product is that we have a highly effective delivery mechanism that bypasses all of the issues that I've just discussed and increases penetration dramatically. Now, the most important thing that I can tell you about all of this is that it also makes it much less traumatizing to the epidermis. You see, when you use real active ingredients and they're in the epidermis and they're stuck there, they oftentimes actually create irritation. That's why so many products like vitamin C products and retinol products tend to create an overexfoliation, tend to create redness and irritation. We tend not to do that, even though we're using much higher strengths and much higher activity ingredients than are typically found in the industry, because these ingredients get to the dermis where they actually can be put to use. So we think you'll find that this penetration solving ability of phosphatidylcholine to be the most effective on the marketplace, and we hope you enjoy the products.